All right, we'll call the budget work group meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is the health department. Kelly, do you want to?
Okay, unfortunately, Jack couldn't make it to the meeting with us. He had a doctor's appointment and it's the third time it's been adjourned, so he is looking to fill one part-time clerk typist due to a resignation. He's got a clerk typist that's going to be leaving at the end of this month, and they are so desperate for help just answering phones and taking calls for COVID, and so he's just looking to replace that person as soon as she leaves.
Okay.
So that's
So
keep
I'd
exact where we could be.
yeah, it doesn't change the staffing level.
Right.
So we need a motion.
I'll make it.
Motion Ron Knott.
Second, Jim Guzzi.
Second, Jim Guzzi. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
This one I will handle also, Chairman.
Okay.
This is to fill the position of Director of Community Services in the Human Services Department. This was Michael Cole's position. Dan Almasi has graciously taken this position or accepted this position. He's doing a fantastic job currently, and we wanted to hang on tight to him. So we are looking to fill this position with Dan Almasi, and then, of course, any backfills created therefrom.
I think Dan's doing a great job. I would make a motion to support this.
Do we have a second? Second, Scalera. Okay. Any discussion?
Just a word of thank you from myself for all the kind words and the faith that all of you have in me. Thank you very much. It's very meaningful. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for stepping up.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Congratulations, Dan.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Condolences.
I knew somebody had to say a wise crack.
Dan, you want to go ahead with?
Helps if I unmute myself. So let's see, what are we looking at here? Yes, so this is our request to fill a behavioral health care coordinator position. What's happening is we have a behavioral health care coordinator who is resigning. She's relocating to the sunny state of Florida. So the care coordination program is in need of a backfill for that vacancy. They're doing quite well in terms of their financial presentation and their ability to meet the needs. So we wouldn't want to have anything negatively affect that. So I'm asking for permission to backfill the vacancy.
So moved.
Second, Scalera.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay.
DSS.
Bob Gibson?
Thank you, Chairman. A couple of things. So I'll start out with the two social welfare examiner positions. Pursuant to our call last month, where we talked about the four positions that would remain swept throughout the year, but then above and beyond that, any vacancies I could look to fill. I do have 5 remaining from there, but don't wish to move too quickly on that because we train 2 social welfare examiners at a time. So I'm asking at this time for permission to fill 2 social welfare examiner positions and backfill any vacancies that might be created therefrom.
Okay, and it keeps at your minimum staffing level.
It does, yeah. In fact, there's still there'll still be a couple of positions open that later on could fill.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Supervisor Hoatling, second.
Guzzi.
Supervisor Guzzi, discussion?
Yeah, I brought it up earlier and I'd like to bring it up again, Commissioner. Maybe sometime down the line, it could even be an executive session. I was wondering if we could talk about the probationary terminations, why they are happening, what's the reason we have 2 of them that are being terminated during their probation period.
We absolutely can do that. I've got a whole process in place. It's been in place for a few years now to avoid that very thing. So, I can even talk particularly about cases in executive session if you like, so that you can understand what went into that. And I say that without even knowing to whom you're referring.
Well, I'm referring in particular to these 2 probationary terminations.
Right, and I don't know who that is, as I should. So, okay, but I would be happy to, Supervisor Scalera, to address those.
Okay, you don't have to do it now, though,
No, why don't we shoot for the February Health and Human Services meeting?
right?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to give me a heads up before that, Supervisor, I can put something together and we could do that in executive session.
Okay.
Great, thanks.
I'd have to support that also, Rick and Bob, because I just like to get an idea of what's going on in there, that's all.
Sure. Okay, my next request is this. I would like to be able to enter into a contract with someone to work as a part-time caseworker. The reason that I look to do that is that I've been, as far as the freeze, after this most recent hire, and there will be a caseworker hire soon, I will be down to the 4 that are frozen, and that's fine, but still find myself very behind. And my thought is that if I could bring on a part-time worker that would be contracted and cost much less than a full-time worker and have no fringe attached to it at all, I would be able to probably start to make up some of that backlog, and I would be able to take a look at this, and we could start to discuss whether part-time caseworkers added to the roster generally might be a way to both ease the burden on the caseload and start saving the county some money in the future. So I thought with this one position, I am not hiring a clerk typist at this point, even though I did get permission to fill that last fall. And I'm just going to keep that vacant through the rest of the year. So by adding a contract part-time caseworker who would work no more than 17 hours in a week, or 30, I think it's 35 hours in a pay period, it would probably help a great deal in catching up on the backlog that even opening up overtime hasn't been able to do. So go ahead.
I was going to say, if they're contracted, they'd be paid out of your .4 budget?
They would.
Okay.
Matt, did you make you made a motion in a second, but did you take the vote on the last resolution?
Kelly? I thought we did, but Kelly, are you there?
Yes, I'm sorry. I have to get to my unmute when I have a display. It's hard to do. We had a motion by Tistria and a second by Jim.
And we voted on it,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Roll that.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry. We were just wondering. That's all.
Bob, this is Michael. I don't remember, I don't know if we talked about the part-time caseworker position. Has this been something, have you talked to Rob from UPSCU in reference to this discussion?
I have not. that. I have not done that. I worked with my staff here.
Yeah, I know because we're not allowed to take positions and contract with, if you have a contracted staff person, then they're not going to be a union member. We would probably have to have a conversation with them in regards to that, because the exception of the part-time social welfare examiner was discussed with UPSCU years and years ago, because they were having an issue being able to bring individuals back when, Empire Justice and things like that had kind of just started. So they were okay with us contracting for, an occasional part-time social welfare examiner for case overloads in that issue. But I think we would really need to have that conversation with them if we were going to open that up for other positions and other titles. Okay.
No, I
ask
appreciate that insight, because I did base this on the SWE contracts. So
Sure.
I wasn't aware that we hadn't had that similar conversation regarding the caseworker. So I would be happy to table this for a month so that I could have those discussions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I'd like to suggest, Bob, that you, Michael, and Rob Lamoro get together, and then you can come back and report back at the next meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. I would.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bob, do you have anything else?
I did not have anything else.
All right. Sheriff Bartlett?
Good afternoon, everyone. The first resolution I'm requesting to get filled is authorized to fill a full-time budgeted deputy sheriff's position. This was due to a resignation. A young man just didn't want to be a police officer anymore. He was a great kid. So I'm requesting to refill that spot.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. Eldridge.
Discussion?
Oh, I'm not in that committee, sorry.
No, we need a legitimate second.
Second,
So, all right. I'm involved in
Ron,
everything. Sorry.
On that. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The second position is to fill a vacant and budgeted full-time communications officer position. This will be due to a resignation. A fellow within the department wanted to go and try his hand at communications. He was on the list, and then ultimately he said it wasn't for him, and he went back to his previous position.
Okay, I think it's relevant, Sheriff. How many shifts and overtime, if we don't fill this, would it cost?
35.
So that's significant.
Right.
And we had voted to fill this position previously, so.
Yes, sir.
I'll make that motion.
I'm sorry?
Coatland will make the.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor. Second, Scalera. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And I did have one more thing, Mr. Chairman, if I could have 1 second.
Yep.
I did want to just give, I never get a chance to have Dan Almasi on the call here. And since I do today, I wanted to tell you what a great job he did all weekend long with us. We had an incident going on. And he was a great help. The people down at mental health were a great help to us, and ultimately getting somebody the care that they needed. So just a little plug for Dan, and it's great working with him. And I look forward to working with him as long as I'm here.
Great.
Thank you.
Well,
Thanks, Sheriff.
I don't know what I did to be accolades today. Hopefully it continues, but it was our pleasure to help with that case. It was a complicated case. It was in everyone's best interest, including the clients, to get evaluated at the emergency department. And, it took a group effort for sure, but thank you, Sheriff. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Next item, Brian McDonald, are you with us?
Yes, Chairman. Yeah, I'd like to request, due to the retirement, as usual, the phone goes off, requesting to fill one vacant, budgeted senior building maintenance worker position and, and backfill all vacancies created due to internal promotions.
Okay, this is a 30-year worker who's retiring, a 30-plus year.
Yes, correct.
So,
I'd like to make that motion, and again, I think I'd like to just kind of say that I think we should be looking into billing some of this stuff where we could to COVID if possible, you know?
mhm. Thanks, Supervisor. Was that a second, Supervisor, or not?
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now, just so you know, too, this is again at our minimum staffing. So, it's in the budget, and there are, we do have to staff at a certain level to get the job done. And as I said, unfortunately, the facilities crew, like a lot of our agencies now, have been hit pretty hard by COVID, whether they've had staff who have actually had the virus or staff who have been exposed by the virus. So Brian has been working on a shoestring lately, so.
All right.
With that, is there any other things we need to bring up? Okay, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Supervisor Holding, second.
Rick.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you all.
We get to cover a lot today. We have the 4 o'clock meeting, the 6 o'clock police reform panel.
You're gonna get sick of looking at me.
Have a good afternoon, guys. See you later.
Take care.